Take a look at the letter A. You probably type it 100 times a day without thinking twice. But what if I told you that it is not just a random geometric shape? It is actually a 4,000-year-old drawing of an upside-down cow. To understand why, we have to travel back to the deserts of ancient Egypt, around 1800 BC. At the time, the Egyptians used hieroglyphics, which were incredibly complicated. But a group of Canaanite workers living in Egypt needed a simpler way to write. Instead of memorizing thousands of complex symbols, they invented a brilliant shortcut. They decided to use simple drawings of everyday objects to represent single sounds. In their language, the word for an ox or a bull was aleph. So, to represent the very first sound of that word, the ah sound, they drew a simple, minimalist picture of an ox head with two pointy horns sticking up. For hundreds of years, this little horned ox head was the very first letter of the alphabet. Eventually, a group of famous seafaring merchants, called the Phoenicians, adopted this alphabet and spread it all across the Mediterranean. That is how it ended up in the hands of the ancient Greeks. The Greeks loved this writing system. They took the word aleph and changed it to alpha. But the Greeks had a habit of messing with the shapes of letters. As they wrote faster and faster, they started rotating the ox head. First, they tipped it over onto its side. Then, over a few centuries, it flipped completely upside down. Suddenly, the two horns of the ox were pointing straight down to the ground, becoming the two legs of the letter A that we use today. And that little horizontal line in the middle? That is the ox's snout. The Romans eventually borrowed this upside-down ox from the Greeks, passed it on to the rest of Europe, and eventually it landed right on your phone's keyboard. So the next time you send a text or write your name, just remember, you aren't just typing a letter. You are drawing a 4,000-year-old upside-down cow.